Okay. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. How we doing down there in San Angelo? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Everyone's good. Everyone's happy. Love to see it. How about you, Miss Joy? Are we doing all right? Yep. Very good. All right. So, today we're going to be in day 4 of our command classroom. We're blowing through. We've only got 2 days left after this. We're going to be going over designs and campaigns today. However, I noticed to my horror last time we finished up class that I forgot a very crucial part about smart plans, and that was how to put somebody onto one. So we're going to go over that really fast, just so that way everyone's on the same page. And then we're going to move into the next chapter of the command classroom. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. So, when we look at smart plans, there's actually a couple of different ways we can add people to smart plans. I know the homework was get 7 people added to a smart plan. If you managed to do that and figure it out on your own, good job, well done. If not, no worries. This is how you go ahead about doing it. So I'm down at the smart plans tab currently. And the ways I can add people from this page is just using this little icon right here, add to contact. We can just click on that and it's going to bring up, this is giving us just a warning about what might happen if people's information isn't put in. That doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead. I'm just going to hit continue for the example purposes. When we hit that add to contact, it's going to show us a little list here of all of our contacts. We can search by name. We can change the first name ascending, first name descending, last name. We can change how it's filtered. And we can, we can go ahead and search by tags, right? So again, I think last time we were talking about if I wanted to get all of my Justice League friends onto one smart plan, I know I've tagged them all with the DC tag, so I could just hit the DC tag. It'll bring up all of them. So now I can just go ahead and select all here. And it's going to bring in Barry Allen, Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Diana Prince, all of my Justice League friends, right, that are tagged with DC, right? Hal Jordan, Oliver Queen, all of them. So we would go ahead and we would hit add to smart plan. It's going to ask when should the plan start. I know I have birthdays on all these contacts, so we don't have to worry about what it was warning us about beforehand. We confirm the TCPA disclaimer, and then we go ahead and we hit confirm, right? When we do that, it should, we refresh the page here, what it should show us now is we can see over there that we have 7 contacts applied to the smart plan now. That's what the little eyeball symbol means. Now that doesn't mean that they are receiving something necessarily currently. That means that they are just enrolled in the smart plan. So if you've got something with a lot of gaps, the smart plan with a lot of gaps in it, and you see an enrollment, that means that they could be anywhere between the gap of getting something. They're just in the plan. They're still going to get something. And if a plan does not automatically repeat when they get to the end of the plan, they'll immediately be bumped. So that's how you add contacts to smart plans from the smart plans page. There's also a really easy way to do it from the contacts page, where you just, if you're at your contacts page and you know who you want to get in, let's say that even though he's not part of the Justice League, I wanted to get James T. Kirk in there, right? We're going to click on him, bring up his contact card. And then over here on the right-hand side of the screen where the timeline box is, we're going to hit smart plans. James Kirk doesn't have any smart plans yet, so I'm going to go ahead and hit add to smart plan. And now it's going to bring up a list of our smart plans, and we can add him to any of those that we wish, right? So let's say that Kirk's ready to get off the Enterprise and settle down. He wants to know what the neighborhoods look like. So this is telling me right now that, hey, you haven't set up your neighborhoods or your email address for James T. Kirk. So I would say, okay, got it. We'd go and fix that. We'd add him to it that way, and it would be, right? So that's how you add contacts to smart plans. As you can see, there's a couple of contingencies built in case you're missing information. But as we went over in the contacts class, that information isn't that hard to go out and get from your contacts, so long as you have at least a phone number or an email from them, right? So, okay, that's out of the way. I appreciate you guys giving me a little bit of courtesy to let me go over that. So now we are going to go ahead and actually go over designs and designs and campaigns today. That was not meant to happen. It is definitely a Friday, guys. It has been a long week. Oh, just trying to drink my coffee and that's trying to escape. Okay, so what are designs and campaigns? I don't know if anybody's used designs or campaigns before. They're two applets. Designs is really kind of like Canva for command. Our front desk ladies, Jasmine and Mackenzie, they both use Canva regularly because they're the ones who are kind of in charge of putting out the ads and stuff like that for training such as this. Designs is a way that you can make things really simply, but not have to spend a whole bunch of time on Canva, and you necessarily don't have to do it from scratch. I'm sure you guys have noticed I've doodled things over here on the board. These are actually icons we'll want to watch out for as we explore these applets, because those icons are, as they look, magic wands. And these magic wands help make our time that we spend in these apps a lot shorter. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump straight into designs, and we're going to base this example off of if one of those contacts we had added onto our smart plans last week came to us and said, hey, yes, I would like to list my house. So we're going to be making a listing advertisement, a just listed advertisement for a property that we have, okay? We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to designs right here. It'll show you any designs we already have, right? So I've done a couple of test designs from previous classes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the blue button up in the top right, create design. The blue button in the top right is always where the magic happens. And you're going to get asked what we want to make. Now, this is an important decision because in campaigns, there's 4 different channels, well, 5 now, sorry. There's 5 different channels we can send campaigns out through, okay? We can pay on social media, or we can just post to social normally, that's 2. We can send out an email campaign. We can send out a direct mail campaign. And now we have TikTok integration, so we also have video campaigns, right? So depending on which of these you pick, you will only be able to put a design from there into that channel. So for example, we're going to pick social now because when I get to campaigns, I'm going to show you guys how to put that design onto Facebook. When we have an email that we want to send out, we would select email here, and then that would only be able to go through an email campaign, right? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to hit social, and we're also going to hit that little checkbox that says import photos and text from a listing. Now that's going to also help us in the long run because it's going to already have some information pre-pulled up from our MLS for us. So we're going to hit next, and it's going to take us to where we choose it. For example purposes, if it's still up here, I have permission from one of our agents to use 1116 Lytle. It's here in Abilene. We're going to be looking for the one that was Becky Kofod. So you guys can use this if you want to. You guys can use this one while we're making a design here. Or alternatively, if you guys have a listing, I know we have agents in the room who are experienced and may have some listings active, you guys can also use that address for this purpose. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select my listing, 1116 or 116 Lytle Drive. We're going to take that, and it's going to load us into our designs applet. Now, this top, over on the left here, where we've got this list, these are our different types of templates we can have, right? So you'll see we're under auto create. Auto create is where the magic happens. We'll get to that in a second. We also have K-Score, which is if you guys wanted to promote our K-Score pre-licensing program where people that you know can get their pre-licensing for no cost. That's available as well. You can represent your listings here, as well as things like this local expert one is fun because it actually is, it's not listing for a property you already have, it's an attempt to get listings, right? It's an information that you're putting out into the community to show the community that you are the expert that we already know you are, right? So there's a bunch of different ones. You could sit in here and explore them all for a good long while. There's holiday. If you do a lot of land, there's ones for lands, commercial, sports and entertainment, yada, 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 right? Super Bowl's coming up in a little while, I think. No idea. I haven't been following it at all, so I have no idea who the teams are, but Super Bowl's coming up, so sports and entertainment might be a good one to peek into. And what we're going to look at today is, like I said, we're going to go up to the auto create where the magic is really going to actually happen. And we're going to select just listed. Okay. It's going to give you about 9 or so templates to look at. And they're going to be different sizes and stuff. We've got these square ones here. Those are my personal favorites because they're the small ones that you'd see on Facebook more likely. You've also got full page ones for posting on social media stories, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They all have a vertical stories feature now. So you can use that for this one. Or if you want to go ahead and get a little more detailed with your Facebook post, you can use this one where it has, you can see kind of there, it's got a little bit of a list for what the property actually holds. Me personally, I like the first option. I'm going to hover over it. And when we look here, we're going to see that there's 2 options that come up. There's a use, and then there's that magic wand, right? That says auto. We're going to select the auto because we want to save time today. I'm going to show you guys how quickly it is to just use this to make a listing really quickly, okay? So we've already selected our property. It's confirming that this is the property we want to use, just in case, you know, we misclicked or we realized, oh no, it's not that listing. That listing's done. It's this listing, right? We're going to go ahead. We're going to hit continue. It's going to ask us to confirm some numbers for us. Now it pulls all this information directly from the MLS. So depending how you put it into the MLS is going to really change how it comes out, right? So my agent friend who went ahead and put this in, she didn't put a comma between the 1,000th and the 100th mark, right, in her number. So we're going to go ahead and add that so that way it looks good in here. Total bedrooms 3, total bathrooms 4. That works. There's the full address. When was it built? 1985. Total square footage is that. We come down, it allows us to select our main image. There's one, yeah, that front picture of this house I think is the best one. It's pretty stunning. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit that. And you can see now that as we've selected that, all of our fields are filled out. The little generate design button turned red. So all we have to do is hit that button and it will go ahead and say creating new content. That one went by really fast. I've never seen them go by that fast before. Pretty impressive. And boom, we have an ad built for us right there. Now, the KW DBA name still needs to get switched. That's easy enough. I'll show us how to get to that in a second. Wasn't that quick? Wouldn't that save us a lot of time of, oh, drag text over here? Even if you've already got a template made, you still got to go in, change it from 2-bed, 3-bath to 3-bed, 4-bath, change the title, change the square footage, change the price, all that stuff, right? So much quicker, so much faster. Really, really quite lovely. I'm also noticing that mine forgot a $ sign as well, so I'm going to punch that in. And all that you need to do, yeah, hard to see on my screen. All that you need to do whenever we edit something is know that the blue box means that's what you have selected in design, right? So you'll see here when I select the price amount, a little blue box comes around it, and that means that I've selected it. I double click on that blue box, and it allows me to edit inside of it if there was a problem that I didn't catch or anything like that, okay? Let's say we were talking with somebody and they were like, that image isn't the best, right? We can go ahead and select this image, go over to, we're going to select KWLS, the Keller Williams listing service, which is just connected to all the MLSs. And it's already got our house here pulled up, our property here pulled up. So we're just going to go through and maybe we want this picture from the street a little better. We don't have to do what you have to do sometimes in Canva where you drag it over, you throw it into the frame, or maybe you're old school, you resize it, make sure that it matches. All we have to do is make sure that there's a blue line around our picture. We're going to go over to the picture that we want to select, and that little recycle icon right there, we're just going to hit that, and it automatically puts it in there. Same size, same space, same stuff like that. Any questions about this so far?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah.
Todd in San Angelo. Are you going to show us on the open houses? The reason I ask is in the room that I'm in right now, there's 4 of us that probably don't have listings yet, but we're doing open houses hosting for other agents. And
Okay.
we've gotten permission from the agents to, social media galore, but
Mm-hmm.
right now, what you're showing me is great for when I get my first listing. But right now, I'm trying to do as many open houses as possible. Could you
Yes.
possibly on the open house?
Yep. And it's really the same process, but we will go over it for you, Todd. No problem at all. So let's go ahead and we are going to, we're just gonna hit done on this because I like it. I didn't change my DBA name, but we'll get to that when we do the open house one. That's fine. We're gonna hit save. It's gonna pull us out. We're back at the designs homepage. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit create design all over again. No worries. Social, import photos, right? Hit next. Gonna ask us what we want. I'm gonna use the same address because obviously if it's just listed, we wanna have an open house pretty soon, like Todd was saying. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna select the proper one. It's gonna bring us into the designs tab, right? And now when we look up here at the auto create, the open house is also an auto create option. So we have the magic wand for it. And again, you've got a couple of different options here when you look through it. You've got squares that you can use. You've got kind of longer form ones. You've got the even taller versions, right? I'm gonna, just for experiment's sake, it doesn't matter. I like this one, so we're gonna use this one, and I'm gonna use the auto feature to follow through, right? Just like we did with the listing. It's gonna confirm that this is right. So this is really the only difference between the open house and any other auto create ad that you can make in design, is it's going to ask you when and what hour the open house is going to be. So we're going to say information is going to be when. When's a good time to have an open house? Usually Saturdays, right? Saturday, what is this, January? It's going to be the 27th tomorrow. So 27th. And we wouldn't want to do an open house flyer the day before an open house, obviously. We'd want to do all of this probably if you got an open house that you're planning to do next weekend. So that'll be the first weekend of February in this example. That's what we'd be wanting to do here. Because then when we get to campaigns, that gives us about a week to have that open house flyer circling through the public, getting people interested, getting people invested. Or I would recommend the absolute latest you could make an ad and publish it is probably Wednesday before the open house. If it's circulating Wednesday and you funnel the money into just like a 2 or 3 day ad, you're going to see a lot of people seeing it and you might see somewhat better. We'll get to that in a second. There's a lot of play around and figure out what's best for your ad campaigns when we look at campaign. But for right now, let's finish this up. It's not allowing me to put in all of those characters, so I'm just going to get rid of the TH. The hour, I think what it has there is a decent enough hour, so I'm going to do 11 a.m. space dash space 2 p.m. Okay, so that's it. That's exactly 10. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit continue on this. And then this is where, again, we would go over, make sure everything's right. So I'm going to put in a comma here, a $sign there. Make sure everything else is good. 27 square foot, built in 1985. The listing street is good. And then we're going to select our image. Now, for a open house, you might want to give them a glimpse as to what the inside of the house they're going to be looking at actually looks like, right? So I like this picture here where it shows off the fireplace and the kind of living room of the house, right? So we're going to select that one and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to hit generate design. It's going to spin and it's going to create us an ad just like that. So really very similar to what we were doing for just listing. Any of those auto create features, they're all very, very similar. Some just have different fields you need to enter, but they're all very time safe. So now we've got a pretty decent looking one here. Open house, Saturday, January 27th, 11 to 2, 3 bed, 4 bath, blah, 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 listed at this, built in this. There's the address. It's got a nice little teaser shot of like, wow, look at that living room, right? We talked about with the last one, changing the DBA name. So I said all we have to do is select it. It's going to automatically pull up logos over here on the left. And if you have KW Synergy set as your broker logo in your marketing profile that we went over all the way back in day one, if you have KW Synergy set as that, it should automatically show up here in the My Assets page. So
Hey,
I'm going to
Thomas,
use, yeah, go ahead, Todd.
is there a place that on this ad that we can put listed by, Joe Smith, hosted by Todd Moore?
Yeah, sure. We'll get to that in just 1 second because we can
Look at me, I'm
edit
just-
this. We can edit this. We can add text boxes if this information, if we wanted to tease a little bit more. Yeah, host or listed by so and so agent, hosted by Todd Moore. If it's applicable for any loans or anything like that, would be good. So,
Hey,
but
Thomas,
for this,
that's when you just say, "Hey, Todd, sit down and shut up."
it was a good question, and it'll direct the class. But Todd, sit down, shut up. We'll get there. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just use that recycle symbol again here, and we're gonna swap out DBA name for KWC. Right now, let's say that class was interrupted by somebody who wanted to know if we can add text boxes, and the answer is yes. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit this text option here, and we have AI write and AI images in command now. I haven't played with those yet, so if you want to go ahead and do it, go for it. I imagine it's very similar to ChatGPT because a lot of programs are implementing that into their stuff now. What we're going to want to do is just like, PowerPoint presentation, anything like that. If you've ever made something like that, you can select kind of the auto size here. I think that one probably looks good. It'll automatically drop it into here. We just need to grab it. I'm holding down left click and I'm dragging, and we're just going to drag it up to wherever you guys think it looks best, right? We can also grab these little oval sliders here and we can resize it. We can stretch it out so that way maybe it'll lay flat along the bottom of our picture, right? We're going to go ahead, and when we want to work on this, because it's double selected in the blue, we're just going to double click. It's going to highlight a word blue. We can go ahead and backspace all that. So listed by Herbert Group, because I think we have mostly San Angelo on the call today, so we'll use Herbert Group. I know they've got a lot of properties. Listed by Herbert Group. I'm going to stretch that out again because it didn't fit nicely. So I'm going to stretch it out again. We're going to readjust a little bit. So you see, this is where it gets into the kind of finagling part, and this is where we get stuck in the Canva of it all, where we have to make it look just right. But, we want it to look nice for people to see. I'm going to say hosted by Thomas Burns, right? And we're going to go ahead and we can do more to this. We have all of our options, just like if we were in a Word document, even up here at the top. We can go ahead and we can change fill color in the background. We can change, where can we change our, if I highlight all this, is this going to allow us to change our, yes. So that color is our font color, right? So I made it white, just like the rest of the ad. It's a little crammed in there. So I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to reduce my font point to about a 30, I think. Yeah. And again, you guys can drag this anywhere you want. We can put it pretty much wherever. It doesn't have to be white on the red square. It can be anywhere. If we wanted to, there's some empty space down here. So if we wanted to take it and drag it down here, all we'd want to do is just make sure that our fill color was black, or maybe we would want our fill color to be a red, right? Listed by Herbert Group, hosted by Tom Burns. And now you've got a little bit more text in there to get people really enticed. Because maybe somebody will see it on Facebook who knows Todd and is like, oh, I haven't seen him since college. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to be at his open house. And I'm going to say hi to him and, maybe look at his house. So that is designs. Any further questions on those? Not hearing nothing. Chat's not popping up. I think we're good. All right. Good show. So once again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit done and we're going to hit save. Right? That's going to pull us out of designs back into command. And from here, we can see there's our open house. And since you guys are saying this is really more of what we do as open house, we'll use this going forward into the campaigns. So campaigns is going to be the little megaphone icon over here on the left. We're going to click on that, and it's going to bring us to a dashboard. Shocker, command loves its dashboards. So this dashboard is really just an overlook of some quick posts. These are inspiration that you guys can look at, tips and training. If you guys want to know how to get better at social media, this is a great place to go, especially on how to use command to do it. I'm going to go over a little bit of stuff here. I'm going to go over a process called stop the scroll is what it's called. And stop the scroll is basically just, we've lost our attention span as a society, right? We're just flying through the front page of Facebook, just skim. To be successful on social media, especially in your marketing, what you have to do is you have to make somebody go skim, stop, go back and read. And statistically, I think we have 0.5 seconds to accomplish that based off of the average doom scroller, right? So this method, though, that we have actually has some things that are going to help you with that. I'm going to teach them today. We're going to learn about them. We're going to put them into practice, hopefully. So in order to get started, blue button up at the top, create campaign, right? And here we're going to see, like I was talking about at the start of class, the different types of campaigns we can make, right? Direct mail, email, social post, paid ad. I know I also said there was TikTok. TikTok is technically under paid ad, but you'd want it to be a video if you want it to be on TikTok, obviously. So we're going to select paid ad for today's purposes, because that is where we get the most outreach, honestly, when it comes to this applet is the paid ads. When we get here into this builder, what we're looking at is we're looking at the different types of ads we can make and the different types of places we can put them, right? And so the name down here, it'll say listing, and then this is going to go to Facebook and Instagram, right? We scroll down a little bit, we can attract sellers or attract buyers through Google, right? And that's going to actually end up like putting you, when you type in homes in San Angelo, that might be a Google paid ad where it says sponsor Todd Moore, realtor, Corey Turner, realtor, right? We also have listing and attract sellers, and that's going to go across Facebook, Instagram, and this is Google ad marketing. So again, the Google ads where it's posted out there at the top. And then down there at the very bottom, it's non-listing video uploads. So again, something fun for TikTok that you want to get out there. If you want to do why you should work with me video, stuff like that, that's available. All stuff you guys can dig into and be creative with. For now, what I think we're going to do here is I believe we're going to do just a listing, and we're going to do single image or video. You'll see there's two there. One has multi-image carousel. This one just has single image or video. We're going to go to that one. Now, those of you who haven't played around with this before, Daniel, I know you for sure yours will look different. Joy, yours might as well. When you have this option here, it's going to tell you to link a Facebook page. It is a whole process, and I can help you with it after class. We can stay on the Zoom and I can help you with it after class. For right now, if yours is not allowing you, just look at a friend's or just follow along, take notes, and I'll make sure to get yours hooked up so you can be running ads after class, because it's a little bit of a process of going back and forth to Facebook and stuff like that. And you need to remember your Facebook password, and yeah. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to, it's asking what listing we want to promote. So we're going to show off our open house, which for me was oh, sorry, I'm doing this wrong. So when you use this search box, what you need to do on this is we need to select the column to filter on, right? For this, it's going to be street address. That's how we usually do most of our properties. And I'm going to go 116 Lytle. And that's usually enough to bring up, we hit enter. That's usually enough to bring up the place that we want to be. Takes a minute because it's got to go through several different MLSs and stuff like that to find our property. And there we go. So Don't worry about it saying off market for mine. Just make sure that yours is obviously on market and we have the right MLS property, right? We're going to go ahead and we're going to select that and we're going to hit done. That's all we need to do for that. That's really just so that way I think when they hit learn more, it's also auto filled over here, but we're going to change that for the design we just made. It's really just so that way for the landing page as well. So we're going to come here, our images. Look at that tag on my face. Upload custom image. Okay, here we go. So I hit upload custom image down there at the bottom, and we can go ahead and select from media library, and it's going to bring us over to what we were just making, right? It's going to bring us to our designs library. So here's my open house one. I'm going to select that, confirm and close, and boom, there we go. Now it's put in there. It's still got that 3-bed, 4-bath little punch down there, but we'll see in a second once it loads up. There it is, that it's got that punched in. Let's scroll down a little bit more. You'll notice here it kind of looks like some text got smeared over top of our listed by and hosted by. What that is it's down here. It's the compliance. If we go to custom, we can turn it off, or at least we can turn it off. Maybe they just made it mandatory now because nobody was doing it. Anyways, maybe we have to go back into our designs and we have to change where we put that listed by and hosted by information to make it more compliant with this, right? Scroll back up since I jumped ahead a little bit, sorry. Here is where we have some more magic wands in our text, okay? Now, remember we were talking about stop the scroll. We have 0.5 of a second to stop somebody and be like, oh, hey, I want to look at that. Beautiful new home in Abilene just listed at this price, 3-bed, 4-bath is not going to make the average person stop. If the average person is looking for real estate, maybe then it would make it stop. But even then, this ad doesn't have the pizzazz that some other people are putting into their ads, right? Luckily, it's really easy to fix. All we have to do is we can just go ahead and select the box here. It's got autofill fields, so you'll see these little boxes here. They're autofilling in over on my preview. That's what this is over here on the right is the preview. So beautiful new home in city turns into beautiful new home in Abilene. You guys will see that as hopefully San Angelo. If it doesn't, we might just have to pull it out and auto put it in. Just hit this X and say San Angelo, right? Just listed at price. It's going to autofill the price in for us, right? But again, this is all basic. So I'm actually going to delete all of this. And we are going to get rid of that. We're going to come up here, hover our mouse in the box. We're going to select this little magic wand, and it's going to pull us into this little feature here where we can write with AI. We're all back to AI. We're making it work for us, right? So, stunning townhouse for sale in Abilene, 3 beds, 4 baths, and all the amenities you could ask for. Don't miss out on this gem located at 1116 Lytle Place Drive. See it today, right? So maybe we want to change the style of this. I love the way the house looks, so maybe we'll want to make it sound more artistic. Experience the ultimate in modern living at address. This stunning townhouse boasts 3 beds, 4 baths, all the luxurious amenities you crave, right? It's the same thing as ChatGPT, but instead of where we ask it, hey, go ahead and make it more personal, hey, go ahead and make it more professional, stuff like that, where we're kind of having a conversation with the robot. We only have these options here to change style, and then if we don't like this, we want it to try again, we just hit write again. So it's a little bit more primitive than ChatGPT, and you by all means are encouraged to use ChatGPT if you would rather for writing this. But this is just built in, it's kind of easier, and so that's what I like to use, right? I'm gonna find one that I like here, and you guys can go ahead if you guys have something, you can as well if you're following along. And 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, spacious and cozy living, fireplaces, privacy, jetted tub, walk-in shower. I like that. The only thing I'm going to get rid of here is I'm going to get rid of that last sentence. And I'm getting rid of that last sentence because of the next step of stop the scroll. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes here to see if you get any body text you like, ask any questions, and then we will move forward with learning what stop the scroll actually means and how to apply it. I gotta turn down the AC in here because it's hot as heck. I don't know about down there in San Angelo, but I know that up here in Abilene it was 67 yesterday. And as somebody from the north where it's supposed to be still in the negatives, I found it offensive. So, all right. So, if we are all set with that, what we're going to go ahead and do now is what stop the scroll is. And those of you who are a little older in the room, you're going to laugh at me because I'm a young guy saying this, but what stop the scroll really is stop the scroll is using emojis in order to make people really stop and notice. People like bright, flashy colors. It's a fact. The average person is going to see a picture and they're going to want to stop and see what the picture means. And when we add more little pictures into our text, it's actually been shown to help people kind of stop and understand and want to learn more about it. Apparently, we never should have migrated away from hieroglyphics. We should all still be writing in hieroglyphics, but this is what the doctors, the brain doctors say, the people who are smarter than me. So I hit enter twice to give myself some room at the top of my body text. And I'm going to use this little smiley face with the plus sign. And it's going to open up our emoji options that command gives us to. It's pretty much all the emojis that you would standard have. Frequently used up here, I've got, I think I had the eagle because I was doing a 4th of July one recently, or a Memorial Day one or something like that. And I figured the eagle would be particularly American. We've got the house with the garden. I think that's a great one to start off with. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 of those in because we want to bracket a little slogan with an emoji, right? So what we want it to look like basically by the end of this is we want to have emoji, some little blurbage, something to the effect of, you know, a beautifully crafted home, because it is a very nice looking home, right? We're going to go ahead and put another emoji. And then down here, we're going to have another emoji, right? This is going to be our house. And we're going to have another blurb. It says something to the effect of spacious and perfect for a growing family, right? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do, another house emoji, right? And so we're kind of bracketing them with emojis. And then obviously we're going to do a third one. You know, there's a lot of foliage, there's a lot of garden there. So maybe we'll put a flower, right? We'll write another blurb, lots of space for your garden, put another flower, and then down here is going to be that body text that we AI generated, right? And obviously below that is going to be where the actual picture of the house is on the ad. But yeah, that format has been proven. And I'm not even just saying that when I say proven, I'm not saying it as in like in the lab. I've used it. I ran an experiment a little while ago, earlier last year. And I did 2 ads, one with just the AI generated listing and one with the stop the scroll emoji tactics. Stop the scroll emoji tactics over the course of 4 days got me 7 contacts onto an agent's profile. AI body generated got me 2, right? So it was the same property, same everything. So it really does have some merit, or I was just lucky that using these emojis actually does help, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try that. Go ahead.
And this is Corey. So when you're putting the emojis, do they, can you just put random emojis, or does it need to kind of correspond with what you're writing and stuff?
Corresponding with what you're writing usually helps out people more. You know, if you say something funny, you put a laughing emoji when you're texting, right? So it usually helps people figure it out a little more. But if you wanted to just throw random emojis in, it's an experiment I haven't run, but it could be worth a try. Just random splashes of color is like what you're kind of saying, like just put like the purple alien and then like the red devil mask and then like a basketball, right? You could, if you wanted to, just throw in splashes of color. I'm not sure how effective. So usually when we make them correlate, it comes out a lot. that answer your question? Okay, awesome sauce. All right, so yeah, we would go ahead in here and we would punch all of that stuff in, right? Lots of room for growing family. I'm not gonna punch in the other two because I kind of highlighted them over here, what you would do. After that, we then have the headline, and the headline you can see down there is underneath the little form on Facebook and next to the learn more. Another good part of stop the scroll tactics are using directive language. Humans, despite what you might, knee-jerk reaction think, humans like being told what to do. We like it when we don't have to make a decision. We like when we don't have to think. We like just being told what to do. So what we want to put down here in this headline is a command. We want to put down, click learn more to find out more about this open house, right? We want to say, click learn more now before the opportunities go, right? We want to bring in some kind of call to action there as well. We also have the AI generation for this, but it's not going to really do that for us because it's only got those artistic styles and stuff like that. So again, I would, if you're not terribly creative necessarily in the writing sense, or if you're not sure what words would grab attention, head over to ChatGPT, say, I need less than 125 characters that tells people to click on a button, right? And we could do that. Me personally, I've always found what works best is we just go with, we say one more really nice thing about the property. So stunning home, my O key is broken, home in, and I'm going to use the city here, city. We're going to say, click, learn more to find out about the open house. That'll do for us, right? Stuff like that. Find out about the open house. Hoose, because my Oki is broken. The open hoose. The moose is loose about the hoose. All right. So that's going to all be there. And again, click learn more. It's kind of right there. I capitalize those letters because just from a writing standpoint, whenever you want to draw attention to something, you capitalize the important letters, the first letters of the word, right? So now what this will do, based off of the tactics of stop the scroll, people are going to be doom scrolling, doom scrolling, doom scrolling. And then once they see this, they're going to stop. They're going to go, huh, I don't have anything to do Saturday. I'm going to click learn more. Learn more is going to bring them to a Facebook form they're going to fill out, and that's going to go straight into your contact database. That's the loveliest part about campaigns, especially the paid ads one. When they hit learn more, they get brought over to a Facebook form that's just like name, email, phone number, note, and then that gets funneled directly into your contacts database, right? And if we set up your dashboard on the very front of command to show your recent leads that come in, they'll pop up there and they'll say Facebook lead ad, and it'll tell you where it came from. So that's the loveliest part about these, is that we are actually getting leads from them directly. So after they go through a lead submission destination, it's going to want to spit them out somewhere. Enter URL. What we'd want to do for this, and we'll get to it, this is kind of the hard part about teaching campaigns, is that I should teach websites before it, but we're not going to. For the purposes of this, we're just going to send them to, if you know your website URL, go ahead and put it in there. If not, just for example purposes today, we're going to do kw.com. And I'm going to show you guys where to find it after we go through this, where to get through your URL. It allows you to preview this, and we'll see that if we preview this, it's just a home search app. It's just kind of basic, though. It's not made for you, and it's not, I don't think, gonna, if they save searches here and stuff like that, it's not gonna necessarily come to your command. But yeah, we'll go over websites is next week, and we'll go over that some more there. I'll show you guys where to find your URL for this purpose. And I'll show you where after this as well, obviously, so that way we're not forgetting things like how to add people to smart plans. One last thing that we can do when they come into our database is we can go ahead and tag them and give them a smart plan already. right? So we talked about last time with Smart Planes how the 8x8 is the perfect start engagement for a new contact. We can go ahead and without even needing to think about it, anybody who comes in gets put on the 8x8 just automatically, right? And then tags, if we wanted to tag them, there's a bunch of different tags you can do. We can also type in a tag and create as a new tag here. So like, let's say I haven't run a Facebook ad before. I want to keep track of how my lead sources actually work. I'm just going to go ahead and tag this as Facebook ad, create as new tag. Now anybody who comes into my database off of this is going to have that tagged to them, right? Compliance, we went over that. That's that little black lines that are there, unfortunately. It's just each office is independently owned and operated, and then your DBA logo. It's just in case that when you're using a listing image, it doesn't have that, obviously. When we make a design, it's automatically included, but it just throws it in there to double check our bases. So once we're all good with that, we're going to proceed to the last step. Cannot be blank. All right, well, for example purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and hit default on this. It's going to throw KW Synergy back over there in the corner, but it'll be okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to proceed to the last step. This is the step where I was talking about earlier. You kind of have to play with it. I can't tell you an exact formula for put in this much for these many miles, pay this amount, and you'll see this many leads. I don't know the formula. If there is one, I don't think there is, because social media is a vast ocean that ever changes with its ebbs and flows. So we're going to go ahead and obviously, like I said, one day is not good enough, but we'd want to put it for the week leading up to the open house. We'd want to put it for Wednesday to the Sunday of the open house. And you want to run it on the day of the open house, right? Because worst case scenario, you get somebody who wakes up that morning, scrolls on Facebook and goes, oh, I didn't have anything better to do this Sunday. I'm going to go to an open house that I just saw. Or somebody at the end of Sunday opens up their phone and scrolls and sees, oh, hey, there was an open house today. Maybe I should have gone to that. Hey, look, this Todd Moore guy, I'm going to Google him. I'm going to see what this brings, right? Or I'm going to click learn more. So that way I get put into his database, not that they would know that, and he can reach out to me, hopefully, right? So there's really no bad part about running the campaign the day of the open house. Your budget, the more you put into it, the more you're going to see come out of it. Now there is, I don't know if you would call it a graph, but if we have, I'm going to make it a graph. If we have radius, and radius just means from the point of your choosing, we can select down here. Can we select? There's an area. Oh, I'm sizing things up and down again. There's an area we can select somewhere, I think. Maybe not with this one. Maybe for another one. But for an area, or for the area around this property, right? If you spend more, you're going to see more. You have to spend at least, I think, $10. So the line's going to look like that, where it starts at 10, and this is your money. Okay. So the more you see, actually, no, I wrote that backwards. I'm sorry. The more you spend, if this goes up and you have a smaller radius, you're actually going to see more contacts come in here, right? Because you're putting more money into a smaller bowl, basically, right? If you have a big radius, if you're trying to reach all the way out to Wall, or here in Abilene, if we were trying to reach all the way out to Baird or Cisco, then we have a big radius. If we put in that same amount of money, we're actually not going to see the same results. We're going to see them kind of dip off to probably not nearly as much as we'd like, right? Vice versa, if we put in not a lot for a huge radius, we're going to see even less, right? So it's a weird graph. It's definitely, I didn't do an excellent job of representing it, but the more you put in, the more you'll see come back out of it. The less you put in, the less you'll see come back out of it. And it is very much so, keep playing with it, keep playing with it, keep playing with it, as much as you can afford it. Keep playing with it, keep playing with it. $50 is just what it starts you at. It's given me, I think this is a full week or so, or it's less than a week. It's a little less than a week, it's about 6 days. So we can change the start date and the end date. We can pump our budget up to $500 at the maximum. And I think $10 is the minimum. I want to say, oh, $25 is the minimum. So anywhere between $25 and $500, if you guys just keep playing with it, the more you'll put in, the more you'll see out. it's really something that we just have to play with. Then it's going to ask you for your billing details, everybody's favorite thing to punch into on the internet. And then if you have a promotional code, I haven't seen any of these come around, but if they do, we'll put them out to all the agents. And you would just hit purchase now. After you hit purchase now, it would take you back to the dashboard and it would show you, hey, it's pending, which just means Facebook's robots have to look it over and see if you've got any nudity or stuff that violates guidelines in there, which obviously we don't. And then it would go active later that day. I've set ads to go at like 1 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock they were running. So it's pretty much same day, I think. So that's how we run a paid ad campaign. Do we have any questions about that? No? Okay. So homework for today, because we're at 9:50 already. Homework for today is going to be to just run one campaign, just one. And I want you guys to keep track of how many leads come in off of that, if any. You'll see them come in recently, so we can check that together next week. But just run one ad, use your stop the scroll tactics, give them a try, use your AI generative fill tools and see how those work for you. See if you like them or not, see if you prefer to do it the old fashioned way. Just run one and then we'll talk about those more when we get back next week. Oh, the website, right. If you ever need to find your URL for the website, like when we were punching it in there at the end, it said website URL to send to after they put in their information and stuff, right? If you come down to the consumer tab right here, it should look like this. If it doesn't, we have to upgrade your website, and your subdomain is just this. So behind that, HTTPS : / whatever it is, you would just punch in whatever this is minus techtrainer1018.kw.com, right? Usually when Scott Leroy sets your guys's stuff up, he sets it up just like first name, last name, .kw.com, podmore.kw.com, Corey Turner, Daniel Mata, for example. So that is where you guys can go to find that when you go to run your ad. And yeah, I think that is everything. Do we have any final questions from the class?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Hey, Joy.
Hey, are you gonna post day 3 and day 4 to YouTube?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And day 2 is already up there. I'll share the link to you after this. It's been rough finding time to edit the videos because the whole office staff this week has been in Austin for leadership training. And so me and Kenzie and Jasmine have kind of just been running the offices ourselves, and the time's not been there, unfortunately. It gets knocked down the priority list. So I will endeavor to get them out today, if not Monday, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. Sounds good. All right, any questions from San Angelo? Nope, all right. Then I will see you guys next week. Thanks for coming by. I hope you learned something. We'll talk to you later.